So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this discussion by Citizen Matters Chennai. We are back with our next event for this month, and I'm Padmaja Jayaraman, reporter with Citizen Matters Chennai. And we are a media organization covering critical urban issues, ideas, and solutions. Our topic for today is fixing civic issues in Chennai, a citizen clinic. Before we go ahead, there are just a few ground rules. I request everybody to not engage in any kind of trolling or abuse during the event. We'll now begin the session. I welcome you all again to the very first clinic organized by Citizen Matters Chennai on fixing civic issues in Chennai. And what is this clinic that we are talking about? In a medical clinic, we might say that a patient has questions about their body and they want the doctors to guide them through recovery. In a citizen clinic, people have questions about, say, a neighborhood or their city in this case. And to put it in other words, a citizen clinic is a platform for people to seek information or guidance on a specific topic from respective domain experts. This time, residents of Chennai have sent us questions related to various civic problems they were facing in their areas. Battered roads, leakage of sewage, mosquito menace were some of the problems highlighted. Whom to reach out to, which platform is the right platform to raise a grievance and seek redressal, and how to escalate and follow up on these issues. These are some questions our panelists will answer. They are active residents in their neighborhoods who have constantly pushed for civic recourse. So our panelists, the first of our panelists is Mr. Raghukumar Chudamani. He has been a resident of Perambur since 1975. He has been raising his voice to solve civic issues since 2019. He has volunteered with several civic organizations, and later in 2021, Raghukumar started the Community Welfare Brigade, a civic engagement forum which has over 150 members now. He also holds the position of convener of the Perambur Neighborhood Development Forum. He's also a citizen journalist with Citizen Matters and finds our platform useful to escalate civic issues to seek solutions. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We have Sridhar Venkatraman next, who has been a resident of Mylapore since 2003. He was an IT professional from 1994. Then he transitioned from the corporate world and pursued his passions like teaching, terrace gardening, food walks, and social activism since 2012. Sridhar has been working with social activists in Mylapore and with like-minded social welfare enthusiasts for a better society. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have Basanthi Kannan, who is a civic activist and the secretary of the Kodambakam Residents and Civic Welfare Association. She has been active in the civic space since 1991, finding solutions to address issues like garbage dumping, clearing encroachments on the road, and so on. She was involved with Exnora to improve areas around the Kodambakam railway station. She has joined with officials of civic agencies like Chennai Corporation, Metro Water, and also with elected representatives like the local MLAs and ward councillors. Moreover, in 2015, she also bagged the Mayor Appreciation Award. Welcome, ma'am. As I mentioned at the start of the session, we have a list of questions that residents shared with us when we put out the call for the citizen clinic. I will now be going over them for our panelists to share suggestions and guidance on how these issues can be fixed. So the first topic that we would like to look at is water supply and sewerage. So Charu Govindan shared this question. In Thiruvanmiyur, people have been suffering with contaminated water, and they found out that the water has a lot of high TDS, that is totally dissolved solids. And this water has been coming from Nemili desalination plant. Despite raising this complaint online and to other Metro Water officials, they are yet to find respite. So what can be a way to escalate the issue for solving it? I would like to bring Mr. Sridhar to answer this question.
I think Charu has been a social activist, and I'm sure she can even reach out to top people. But even the Metro Water is really involved. So I'm not really sure within the Metro Water hierarchy whether people are really taking it seriously. So when issues are not being taken seriously, one good avenue to really highlight the issue that has been resolved is a CM cell. CM cell is a good place where it goes to the top of the head of the state, at least office associated with the head of the state. And I'm sure they will really look at the complaint. And to me, that seems the best alternative at this point.
Right, sir, right. So this is a really good suggestion to go up to CM cell to take the issue seriously. And we had this other question related to sewerage. That is, Mrs. Lalita has shared that in Ramapuram, sewerage infrastructure has not yet been built, and they have complained online and through petitions. But they are saying, metro officials are saying that work is happening, but they're not seeing any action on the ground. So, how to follow up on the issue? And I would like to bring Mr. Raghukumar to answer how she can go about.
Okay, we had a similar problem in our area. This is about 20 years back. We had to wait for nearly 60 years post-independence to get a sewage connection in our street. So what we did was we went to the open house meeting, which is being held on every second Saturday at the local area office between 10 to 1. The best forum that you can address such issues is to go for these meetings because the higher officials are available there. And it's easier to put forth all your grievances directly in person. And it worked like a miracle. Our sewage connection was taken up immediately, and within a matter of 15-20 days, they laid the new pipe in our locality. So I would suggest the open house meeting would be the best forum.
Right, sir.
Or they can use Twitter. The Twitter handle works brilliantly. If they can tweet and escalate the complaint, that will also work.
Right, sir, right. So another topic that we wanted to address was mosquito menace. Currently, many media organizations are talking about mosquitoes, and mosquitoes are always a problem in Chennai. So Mr. K. Rajagopalan has shared this question. Buckingham Canal, which is close by, is stinking and a breeding ground for mosquitoes. So he's unable to find any recourse to address the mosquito menace. So I want to bring in Mrs. Vasanthi Kannan about how she would suggest to redress this problem.
See, the area health officer, assistant health officer is there. Before going to him, I think they can approach the special sanitary inspector for malaria. He is there. So once you don't get any resource from them, then you can very well go to assistant health officer or a health officer. Health officer is in the Ripon buildings. Right. So you can put it in the Twitter. This thing is, although the technology is improved, always your human presence is essential. If you go there and get the things done, nothing like it.
Right.
All this Twitter and all, okay, you can get it done. Nothing works like this. Right. I keep going there, Ripon buildings or Metro Water higher office. Then it works out very well. And moreover, see, the local officials, they must be knowing the persons who will go to the higher extreme and all that.
Right.
So then immediately they take steps.
Right. So even apart from online forums, offline forums also have a lot of impact, as Vasanthi ma'am said.
Yes, sure.
So apart from mosquito menace, there were certain questions about public spaces and issues in public spaces. So we had David Manohar talking about how to remove encroachments and pavements in public spaces, and I would like to bring Raghukumar sir and Vasanthi ma'am to answer this question.
Yeah. So who is going to answer first?
I think you should go first, ma'am.
Thank you. So it's been there. I think I started in 1991. From there, that time onwards, it's there. And I had represented this matter to the commissioner. They'll come and remove it. Within 3 months, the encroachment will come back. So this is highly political oriented. So everyone knows in the city about that. So each encroachment is backed by the political party. So unless and until this is political influence is not there, we cannot do anything for that. Still, I am fighting for the encroachments to be removed. I have not left it.
Right.
But this is a curse, I should say.
Right. Right.
I don't want to say which party and all. Both the parties are at the same level. Both of them they support.
Right.
And,
Right.
and then police also. They take Mamul daily. So where is the question of removing them? Absolutely. See, Commissioner, and what they have formed some encroachment drive or something. Every week or every month, not every week, sorry. Every month, division encroachments to be removed and all that. Nothing works. They remove, but again it will come. So that's it.
Right. Right.
Can I add to it?
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
please.
What we normally do is try to lodge complaints both with the Greater Chennai Corporation as well as Greater Chennai Traffic Police. And what happens is these guys do come. Once we lodge a complaint, they do come to the place. But what they do is they try to expose who is the complainant. And I've been to the vigilance cell as well as to other areas because some people tried to put in some petitions on my behalf. It was a fake petition. I don't normally write in Tamil. I always lodge complaints digitally and I don't send by registered post. What I found was people were having a registered post letters with them. And that was what they were based on, and they called me for an inquiry. And I had to put my foot down and tell them that there's no point in wasting their time as well as mine if such petitions come. And they should always go with the digital thing that I'm sending, because I always write to the CM cell or I use the Matters Chennai app, but the Matters Chennai app doesn't work these days. There are a lot of issues in it. And one more problem that I have noticed is these are milch cows. Like every time you remove the encroachment, again, these guys go there, they take the, like you had rightly pointed out, it is a regular source of income for the officials as well as the politicians. So they are not very keen on acting or providing a long-term solution. It's a relentless process. We have to keep fighting for it. Let's see. At some time, we'll have a good administration and things will change. Let's hope for it.
Right, right. So talking about this encroachment, parking is also an issue that has been talked about. So Mr. Murali and Swarnalatha have told that during school hours, many vehicles are being parked next to schools, which make it hard for people to walk, as well as it clogs up the roads during traffic. So I would like to bring Mr. Sridhar and Mrs. Vasanthi Kannan to address how one can seek redressal for parking issues.
Sir, go ahead.
Okay, let me provide my perspective on this particular thing. So when it comes to parking, it essentially is the domain of the traffic police. The corporation doesn't really have much control over that particular one. And the school has to really provide, if it is a school, the school has to really take an initiative of really figuring out how to really manage the people coming to the locality, to the street and all that stuff. So one thing that people should know is this is the domain of the traffic police. And how do you really get to the traffic police? Usually, the traffic police are associated with the police station in your main police station in your area. So the deputy commissioner of police who sits in your area actually has a visiting hours. That is one way where you could really bring it to his attention on the problems, not just with this parking, but with respect to any other law and order problems as well. So find out what is the visiting hours of the deputy police commissioner, DCP, in your area. It is usually in the evening between 4 and 4:30 or so. At least Mylapore, that is the case. So that is something that you could really bring up, and he will probably provide you the connection to the traffic police associated in this station, and that way, that is one way. The second thing is bring up the matter with the school to see what exactly the school has done with respect to parking solutions or any particular, whether it is a temple or whatever it is, and have the background ready before you go to the traffic police.
Yeah, but ma'am, you were a student of Padma Seshadri. So you must be knowing no cars or two-wheelers are allowed near the school area, isn't it? So like that, all the schools should come out with that. See, my children also studied in Padma Seshadri. That's how I know. They don't allow, during that school timings, they don't allow any cars or two-wheelers near their school campus. They have to go park somewhere and take the children from the school to the car. So another thing, 20 years before I'm talking about, when JCP traffic was there, Uma Ganapati Sastri, he formed groups in the residential localities who are well acquainted with the traffic in their area, and he has connected all these residents or NGOs to the local police station. It was working out very well. No, nothing like that. And we can't blame these traffic police. They are always in the bandobast of some politician or something. So they don't come here and all. Again, the school, not only the school areas, even in residential areas, parking has become a big menace. The car owners, they simply buy the car. They don't have parking in their houses. They park everywhere on the roads only. Isn't it?
Right, right.
Ah.
So Padmaja, let me add one more data point here. So I had a huge problem when my children actually went to PS Senior. So on Thursdays, Sai Baba temple, the whole city would come. The thing is, I had to really figure out a solution. I would take a two-wheeler, so I did not really have a problem really dropping my children in school. So back in 2015 or 2016, I actually took the initiative of planting myself in the Sai Baba temple area. I did the traffic management for almost 1.5 years myself. Nobody even bothered to really come and take control of the situation. Not the management at PS Senior, not the traffic police, nobody, not the temple, not the Sai Baba temple also. So I managed the situation for 1.5 years, made sure that at least the security from the school actually would help me at some point to manage the traffic. And there was no traffic control. So I had to set up the one-ways in order to really make sure that the traffic flowed in that particular area. So that is something that people can take a look at, whether they have the time or the initiative. I don't really know. So that was the scenario. The second thing is, if a vehicle is parked, especially in residential localities, if a vehicle is parked for so many days together, you can call up 100 and actually report the vehicle to the police. The patrol person would come and take a look at whether it is legally parked or illegally parked or something. They would take care of the situation.
Right, sir, right. And also, I was wondering if Raghu Kumar sir also wants to add for this question.
That I've already shared my thing in text format. You must have seen it. So if you want me to repeat it, I can always do that.
Right, sir. No, I don't think. Yes, sir. We've seen it. Thank you so much. So another question that came up was about lack of toilets in Valmiki Nagar. So this was shared by Mrs. Soumya. And she said that many people are open urinating because of this. So I want to bring in Sridhar sir to see how she can seek recourse for this lack of toilets.
I think Vasanthi ma'am addressed a little bit about one particular domain of the corporation, the health office, zonal health. There is a zonal health officer. There is a health officer. That person is something that must be alerted for your zone. And the information for reaching out to him, I will probably provide at the end of this session, where I've actually aggregated all the contact information together. So that will be useful for a lot of people actually who want to get the contacts. The second one is there is a Tamil Nadu Urban Sanitation Support Program, which actually, I think it is people from the Indian Institute of Human Settlements actually work with the government in order to really look at toilets and how exactly the waste actually is managed as part of the thing. I believe they can be an agency who can provide some kind of direct solution, or can direct the person to really any other agency that is really taking care of setting up the toilets or actually managing that situation.
Right, sir, right. So that is, I think there are a lot of places which lack toilets, or toilets are locked in certain places. So highlighting that would make a lot of impact. And another question shared by Vignesh Rajendran as well as Jayanti Premchandar was about pedestrian pathway being broken, and many pedestrian pathways are also being cycling pathways are also being broken. So I was wondering how we can address that, and I would like to bring in Vasanthi Kannan to answer this question.
See, ma'am, this is all payments and all are taken care by the local AEs only, the division AEs. And always they say lack of funds. And the next budget only we can include. This is the standard reply regarding the roads, regarding the payments. They'll be giving only these two replies. This reply, sorry. So lack of funds, next budget we'll include. So they have to pressurize them. So local AEs, they have to approach first. If it doesn't work out, then you have to go to the higher official, executive engineer, assistant commissioner, RDC, like that only you have to go. If you go to the higher official first, these people get annoyed. That is the local AEs. And they don't do anything.
Okay.
So that is how we should go. We should have time, patience, everything.
Okay.
So that's the only way you have to ask.
Can I
Payments
add
and
my experience, Padmaja, here?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, a few months ago, I think it was in October, we had gone to Thiruvamiyur. On the opposite side of the Thiruvamiyur bus terminus, the entire footpath, it's been topped up with granite slabs. All these granite slabs, as you said, were dislodged and it was in a horrible condition. We had, what we did was we posted a live video on Facebook and tagged it through Twitter to all the officials and also the CM's personal thing. And it worked very well. Only 2 days ago, I have posted, I will share that content also, the video that we have taken now. They have redone the entire thing now. So taking our live video and posting it makes better sense. We have been doing it constantly.
Right.
That doesn't work out for encroachment, sir.
It does.
It works out. Great.
Many times I've shared videos.
Yeah,
and
they remove, but again it comes back. They remove the
It keeps coming
encroachment.
back. You can't.
But again, within short period, they come back.
Right, right. So another issue related to public spaces, we came across tree pruning not being done properly. So which authority should be informed, and if park authority does not respond, how should the issue be escalated? This question was shared by Jayanti Premchandar of Valmiki Nagar again. So I was wondering if Mrs. Vasanthi Kannan could go ahead and share what she thinks is the right way to address it.
I'm facing this problem severely, madam. We planted trees all over Kodambakkam, and now everything is a huge tree now with big trunks and full leaves, branches, everything. And this is a real headache. Previously, there used to be a park superintendent in Ripon buildings. So whenever we call him, we used to send people to prune the trees and all. Now there is no such post at all in Ripon buildings. Park superintendent is not there. Here in zonal office, park supervisor is there. When we place a complaint, he says he doesn't have a vehicle, he doesn't have men to prune the trees, like that. Now I heard that chief engineer is responsible for all this. You have to approach the chief engineer in Ripon buildings.
Okay.
So as Mr. Rajkumar points out, everything only we are doing it in Twitter or calling 1913. That only works out.
Right, right.
Padmaja, again, I have written a story in both in Tamil as well as in English on this particular subject, where we had a serious problem. Even when these guys come, they come and say that they do not have money to buy diesel, and we have to buy the diesel, and they don't have the equipments. they have shortage of people. And after all that, they also ask for a bribe. I fail to understand as to why,
It's not
after paying
right.
all the taxes, why should we be paying for pruning a avenue tree? If it's a personal private property tree, then it makes sense. For avenue trees also, we end up paying 700 rupees, 800 rupees, at times 6,000, 2,000. This have already put it on record and it's gone on the public forum.
Right. As you rightly put, so how can a person seek redressal when it is another agency or a private agency cutting the trees in an improper way?
They come and do only for 2 trees, if at all they come.
Right.
The avenue trees we have parked all over the area. 132 division means at least if they can do it for one street one day, it will work out fine. But they come and do only two trees.
Right.
Doesn't work out at all. So recently when the assistant commissioner said, I'll give some 20 saplings or 30 saplings, I said, I don't want any saplings from you.
Padmaja, I would like to add one more thing. Like
Yes,
she rightly pointed out, every time they come, they say you're only given this number of trees, so we'll only do this. You lodge another complaint, only then we'll come for the other trees. And when they come the next time, again they ask for money. They say they don't have diesel. We have to go and buy diesel for them. And this is what has been happening.
Right.
So Padmaja, one other point that I would like to highlight on this particular matter.
Yes.
Nothing related to the maintenance of the tree, pruning of the branches or something, but identifying whether a tree that you see is a native tree or a non-native tree. Because when I did not really have the knowledge of a non-native tree, when I planted it in 2005 in front of my apartment, it was doing well. At least until 2020, 2021, it was doing well. But the corporation and even my complex natives actually flooded the base of the tree with garbage. So the tree lost its strength. So November 1st, 2022, the tree actually fell down. 17 years of growth, the tree could not really manage standing on itself. It was a non-native tree. Fortunately, it fell at around 9 p.m. or something, but there was no traffic on the road. It actually also, my car was also saved because it was not really parked on the path of the falling tree. The thing to identify, because we have so many trees falling during the rainy season, it is important for the people to identify whether it is a native or a non-native tree. If it is a non-native tree, make sure if it is on the verge of falling, if there is a possibility of the tree falling, notify the corporation regarding that particular thing. You don't really want to be caught in a situation where when a tree falls, some casualties happen or something is damaged. The corporation at least has to be notified in terms of whether the tree is really standing straight or falling on the verge of falling. That's all I wanted to do.
Right. So that is also an important point. And another question that we received was related to dog menace. So Mr. Joel Shelton raised this question about his neighborhood facing that there are a lot of ferocious dogs in his neighborhood which look infected, and this makes it hard for him to travel on bike. So he has tried to raise this query on the Matters Chennai app, but it has not been compatible with his device, and he's looking at different ways to find solutions for this dog menace. So I want to bring in Mrs. Vasanthi Kannan about how he can find solution for this.
Last year, I solved this issue by talking to the corporation 1913 I called.
Right.
And then some veterinary doctor is available now in the Ripon buildings. He came over the line.
Right.
And he immediately sent 2 persons to catch that infected dog. And they took the infected dog. They took my signature, everything.
Right.
So I think it worked out really well when you call 1913. And I have that veterinary doctor's number also. He's one Kamal Hussain or something.
Kamal Hussain, yes.
Yeah, he is the one who attended to that. I mean, like what they do, they take the infected dog, treat it, or put the vaccination or something, and then they come and live in the same place. Right. That is our Manaka Gandhi's order.
Right.
So they don't do anything else. They don't take the dog out of that area. They come and leave the dogs in the same place. So you can do it. It
So
worked out really
calling
well for me.
1913 would be helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They took the signature and all.
Okay.
They
Okay.
have that who gave the complaint, phone number, everything. After catching the dog, they came and took my signature.
Right. 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 And they also released the dog in the same area.
No, they took it and then they kept it for some 3-4 days, I think, to observe
Okay.
what
Okay.
happened to the dog, something and all, no?
Right.
So they observed, and then after 1 week or so, they came and left it after giving the vaccination, required vaccination and all that, anti-rabies and all that. Okay.
Right. Right. So another category that we got questions was regarding waste management. So Rahul Muthukumar asked this question. His area does not have many garbage bins, and people tend to dump waste on the roads. And garbage collectors come only during mornings. That is not conducive for people in his area. So he's saying that at the end of the day, the garbage dumping has led to mosquito menace. And what are some ways to resolve this issue? He has asked this question. I would like to bring Mr. Raghukumar to address how he
Best
can.
way to handle this is to speak to the local conservancy inspector.
Right.
And if he doesn't respond, then they can go to the conservancy supervisor or the A square.
Right.
Even if it does not work after that, they need to approach the zonal officer, executive engineer, or the RDC. That's what we keep doing all the time.
Right.
And as I told, like the best way is to take a live video and then post it on Twitter and Facebook and in social media. And all these guys are also available on WhatsApp. So I have got all the contact details of all the officials. So I keep sending whatever I put on Twitter, I copy the same thing and send it to them. So it works. Even before the official, the senior officers look into it, these guys will start working.
Right. Right. And
that's the easiest way to escalate.
Right. Right. And as garbage dumping is also a problem, it keeps clogging drains, and there are also citizens who are mindlessly dumping rubble, plastic bags, sanitary napkins into open drains. So this was a question raised by Mrs. Sudha Uma Shankar, and I would request Mr. Sridhar Venkatraman to answer the question.
This is definitely a problem, especially if the SWDs, stormwater drains, have some openings or are broken and all that stuff. Fortunately enough, Namma Chennai, and I think what was provided to me was Ward 88 is what this person is in. Unfortunately, there is no stormwater drain net maps for Ward 88 that is documented by the corporation. Actually, corporation has the stormwater drains for most of the areas in Chennai, and Ward 88 does not have any stormwater drains documented in that. So one of the alternatives is actually use the Namma Chennai app. Namma Chennai app has one thing called barricading of stormwater drains.
Right.
So actually log a complaint there, because as a resident, you may not even know whom to really contact. So one way to really find out who the contact is, actually log a complaint on the Namma Chennai app. They are supposed the people actually who are directed this complaint are the competent people who are responsible for this problem. Right. So once you get the phone number for the problem, once you know which is the department handling it or something, it is easier for you to really target that particular department for future complaints in this particular domain. So that is one way to really identify who is the domain responsible or who is the person responsible. Right. Once the person actually is not really responsible, Namma Chennai app usually has an escalation mechanism whereby you can reopen a complaint. Unfortunately, they have blocked it at this particular point. So the other way to actually escalate is actually go up one level up in the hierarchy from your ward to your zone to your RDC and going up to see how exactly the problem can be fixed.
Right, right. So the same person has asked another question. So people have been throwing bottles into her house garden. Like they've been vandalizing her house, and she used to have police patrol earlier, but now she does not find any cops. So this is a question that I would like Mrs. Vasanthi to step in and answer.
Why are they doing? Any particular reason? Throwing bottles into her compound?
That was not
No,
mentioned.
we don't know.
Yeah.
But see, she should be courageous enough to face this.
Right.
At the time of throwing bottles, if she comes to know, she has to call 100.
Right.
So many they don't do. They're all scared.
Right.
So they don't do that at all.
Right.
Why should you be scared? If somebody is throwing bottles and all into your compound, immediately you call.
Right.
See, I have a neighbor in the other street who is a doctor. She also faces this problem. And she says, you please attend to it. You please attend. How will I know when they are throwing the bottles? I said, you please call 100. At the time of this incident only, you should call 100. You
Right.
cannot call simply at the random time you want.
Right. Right.
So if they call, immediately the cops come.
So I must endorse Vasanthi ma'am's suggestion of calling 100. People actually fear calling the police. I don't think that there should not be any fear in calling the police. Yeah.
Solution
So-
to it.
So once we call 100, they usually alert the police patrol person in that particular area.
Yeah.
So in 5 minutes, the person will be there. So there is a guarantee that in 5 minutes, the person will be there. Police has become a little hyperactive in terms of really addressing the problems, because if it turns out to be a law and order problem, they are responsible for answering that. So at least in that sense, the responsibility is fixed on the police, and calling 100 is not really going to impact you. It only helps you.
You need not declare your name, madam.
Right.
You need not. If they'll ask you, what's your name? I don't want to declare. I don't want to reveal that. You can say. Very well say.
Right.
So
Right.
nobody knows that you are the one who has given the complaint. If they are really scared, I'm saying.
Right. Right. So
They need not reveal.
considering the fact that we are talking about issues concerning police, so another issue was asked about over speeding. So Moon has shared this question. A resident met with an accident on a road due to overspeeding of a car, and she was walking while this incident happened. So she was wondering if she could ask anybody to install speed limit boards on the roads of Chennai, or what else she can do to address this problem of overspeeding while walking.
Okay, it's to me, right?
Yes, it's to Sridhar, sir.
Okay. So there are two entities that are responsible for this issue. The way they could actually provide a solution to this problem. One is the traffic police. Traffic police is responsible for any speeding, overspeeding, whatever it is.
Right.
The second one is who actually owns that particular road. If you really want to do something for that particular road, the corporation is responsible for that road.
Right.
And there are two divisions within the corporation which is responsible for the roads. One is the bus route roads, where it is designated as a bus route, whether it is the present or the past or the future. Bus route roads has control of some roads. Even if buses don't ply on that road, it could have been a bus route road before. Corporation has not taken any responsibility of removing the bus route road to a normal thing, and it is still a bus route road. So the only way you could find out if it's a bus route road or a normal road, file a complaint.
Right.
It will ask which is the problem in that particular road. You file a complaint. If it goes to the bus route road, you know it is a bus route road. If it goes to the normal AE, it's a normal AE who is responsible for that road.
Right.
One solution, if it is a bus route road, I think it is a higher priority that needs to be fixed for that particular road. And traffic police needs to be alerted for that particular thing. Because you don't really want to have citizens actually victimized because of any traffic overspeeding problem. So the traffic police will really figure out what's the problem on that particular road and will devise a solution for it. Whether it is installing a speed limit board or speed limit load, nobody cares. In terms of bus route road, let the bus route road and the traffic police really find a solution for that particular problem. If it is a normal residential road, speed limits and all that won't work. The only solution that bus route roads or the normal AE would really come up with is actually installing speed breakers. So an analysis needs to be done in terms of what is the problem, why, how is the problem happening, what is the source of the problem, why are people speeding on the road. Generally you will find Raja, file a problem on the Chennai app, put your problem on the road issue itself, document the problem completely, let the local AE come up with a solution, who it is to be directed to, let it be directed to the specific agency. You cannot really figure out who's responsible for the problem or what is the cause and all that stuff. Leave it to the competent people to really find out what the problem is.
Right. So talking about roads, battered roads are also another problem that was given as questions. So Mr. Saravanan and Mr. Parthasarathy have said that the roads in Ramapuram as well as in Ward 90 are in very bad condition. So Mr. Saravanan highlighted about potholes near Kesavardhani to Arasamaram and then to Mayot Hospital. So these are all bus stops. And in Ward 90, it was not relayed after it was dug up for civic activity. So I would like to bring in Mr. Sridhar and Mr. Raghukumar to answer how one can ensure their roads are relayed back.
Okay. Battered roads have been a problem ever since this stormwater drain has been installed. So one information that Komal Gautam of Times of India actually mentioned in a WhatsApp chat was that on 13th February, her reply was on 13th February, that work on rain damaged roads has been delayed due to the tender negotiations. So corporation has a tendering process whereby all the roads are identified for whatever the repair work that has to be done, and tenders have to be issued, and the contractors will be identified using the tenders. So as of 13th February, the tenders have not been finalized. So be a little patient in terms of the repair work that has to be done. Even in Mylapore, my area, I'm still waiting for the roads to be fixed. So it is a problem across the city where the roads are damaged and the tender things have to play out in order the repair has to be done. If the roads have been damaged before the monsoon, GCC would not have really fixed the problem because the rain actually damages the roads also. So they would have waited for the rains to get over. So after the monsoon, all this tendering would really happen. And there is an option to file a grievance under relaying of the road under road and footpath in the Namma Chennai app. Right. So no matter whether it works or not, at least do it as a matter of formality to file a problem under relaying of road. The AE might really say this is when the problem will be closed. If it has been, if he closes intentionally without actually solving the problem, reopen the problem. So keep doing that so that at least he knows that you are actively looking at that particular problem. So that is the general solution that I would give.
I would like to add to what he has told right now. Every time we lodge a complaint, they close the complaint and then we try to reopen it. I've been filing complaints for the last 6 years about a concrete road. An article was written in Citizen Matters, I think in 2017, and the roads are yet to be done. Every time they come here, they will take the measurements, they'll say it's in the budget, it'll be done, but nothing really takes place. Even last month, they have said the work will be done very soon. So when I ask them when, there's no answer for it. So that's how the system works. And we have to constantly keep on engaging with them. Yes. And using the print media, social media, digital media, that's the only way that we can address it.
Right. So considering the fact that stormwater drains actually battered roads, as Mr. Sridhar pointed out, flooding was also another issue that was asked by Swarnalata. So she said that narrower lanes suffer from greater flooding issues. And how can she ensure long-lasting drains are installed that allow water from specific low-level stretches can reach the nearest stormwater drain. So basically, narrower lanes do not have good stormwater drains that actually are impactful during heavy rain. So I was wondering how she can find a solution to that. I would like to bring Mr. Sridhar to answer this question. And sorry to
interrupt.
Yeah.
I'll take leave now. Nice. It's a nice discussion going on. I'm sorry. I'm leaving now.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mrs. Vasanti,
Take
for
care.
joining
Bye-bye.
us. Yeah. We'll connect
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, Vasanti.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Responding to that particular question, actually, Chennai Corporation did a very good thing this year. Actually, to publish the list of all the stormwater drain maps for every ward. Actually, it will be a good exercise for everybody to check their ward maps of the stormwater drain to see what exactly is the stormwater drain network that has been laid in your area.
Right.
It is a good awareness exercise to really know where exactly the stormwater drains are there.
Right.
So once you've identified where the stormwater drains are there, it will be a good exercise to really work with the corporation, the local person involved with the stormwater drains in your area. Maybe the AE would be involved to see whether there is a possibility of actually enhancing the stormwater drain to take the water in your street. If it has not been planned for the future. But one other thing that you can probably look at is rainwater harvesting pits. So Mr. Shekhar Raghavan, who has been doing a great exercise for the last 25 years on rainwater harvesting pits. Actually, this was documented as part of the Citizen Matters article. So Padmaja, you can probably provide the article reference to them in terms of looking at the option of rainwater harvesting pits for your particular street. So wherever your street probably may be under lower elevation, it cannot really route the water to the stormwater drains that is already in place. The option to look at is a rainwater harvesting pit for your particular street. So contacting the rain center, which is Mr. Shekhar Raghavan's organization, would be helpful to identify what are the options available for your particular street. And he can suggest options to really do it as a part of your community exercise to really install rainwater harvesting pits. They are not really that expensive, especially as a community. If you can probably team together within your area to really contribute to that particular thing, you can get it installed at probably 3 or 4 places whereby those pits can really collect the water, and that can be a solution for your area.
Right, sir. Right. We've been talking time and again about different avenues, Matters Chennai app, Twitter. So I want to talk about the avenues for complaints specifically. So Mrs. Sudha Ramalingam spoke about how she found some technical glitches with the Chennai Corporation Citizen Portal, and she couldn't get an OTP while submitting a complaint. But then later she called 1913 to submit a complaint, and that was promptly attended to. So if a person is choosing the GCC website to complain, how can one overcome a technical glitch that might come? So I would like to bring in Mr. Sridhar again to step in and answer the question.
So I have been filing a complaint since probably around 2015 or so, even before Matters Chennai app was actually in place. So on the portal, there was a ability to file it. There was a facility to reopen it, but that was blocked at that point of time. I had to go to the RDC to really get it actually fixed, so that reopened, started working after 2016 or so. It was working until 2021-22. They actually blocked it right now. So it is not a tough exercise to really fix the problem in terms of working with the Matters Chennai app. I am willing to work with anybody who has had a problem actually with the OTP mechanism and all that. I can work with them because I still post complaints using the Matters Chennai app. I have seen so many hundreds of people actually post complaints on Matters Chennai app. It may be just a configuration problem. It may just be an OTP issue or whatever it is. So I don't really see an issue with the Matters Chennai app. it may be a problem with the local, rather the phone configuration of the particular person involved. So I'm willing to really take any, what do you say, messages or something from the person to really fix the problem.
Right. Another question that came to us was from Arjun Shankar, who said that even though civic agencies respond to the grievances, they don't take action. Especially, he's cited CM Cell. And how can one track the action by civic agencies after one submits complaint online? So I would like to bring in Mr. Raghu Kumar to answer the question.
This problem I have also been facing for the last many years. What happens is earlier the CM cell, they used to come back and give us a response on what the action they have taken and what was the outcome and all that. But these days they just say accepted or rejected. The online web portal is no longer working. It's again only through the app that we, the TNCM helpline is the only way that we can approach them.
Right.
So what we have started doing is started sending emails to CM helpline.
Right.
So that is the only avenue that I've been trying to do, and only accepted and rejected. I don't know. We have taken up we have lodged a complaint on that particular subject as well, asking them to come back with a detailed response. I haven't heard from them so far.
Right.
So Padmaja, let me add something over here. Namma Chennai, see, 1913 is a great mechanism to complain. But unfortunately, they don't give you a mechanism to track the complaint that you log. The tracking mechanism is really absent in 1913. They may not really give you. I don't know if you call back, if they can really track your complaint and come back.
Actually, they sent an SMS where they give you the number and then you have to go to the portal and do it. But no, the portal is no longer working. That's the problem. Okay,
Namma Chennai app has a tracking mechanism. So once you log in a complaint using the Namma Chennai app, you can track it.
Yes.
But what happens with respect to the Namma Chennai problems is that the AEs are smart enough to close the complaint, resolve the complaint within hours or within a day. And the Namma Chennai app, even when the reopen option was working, the reopen option will work only if you reopen the complaint within a day of resolution.
Correct.
So they were smart enough to really close it. And no resolution SMS will be sent to you on the mobile. So if you are a day late or if you are a couple of days late, your problem will stand resolved. You have no way of reopening the complaint. So what I suggest is, if you are really opening a complaint using Namma Chennai app, keep actually looking at the problem every 8 hours or every 12 hours to see if it is being resolved. When it is being resolved, and the resolution is not really matching your expectation, if reopen works, open the reopen. If reopen doesn't work, I don't know, other than
there is one option available. Copy that particular thing and post it on TNCM helpline and also paste it on the other RDC as well as the zonal officer's WhatsApp number. Then it works.
Okay. So Padmaja, the next option is for you.
You have to be everywhere to resolve your problem.
The next option is to call the RDC to your clinic.
I think we would get so many questions that we suppose if we are calling RDC North, so many people from North Chennai will be like, we have asked so many questions or raised these complaints on online platforms and they have not yet been resolved. So I think he'll probably be using this clinic to resolve civic issues. That would be fun. So another question was related to which authority to intimate because 3 drains were overflowing in Tiruvannur. So Jayanti Premchandar had shared this question, and if local and zonal metro water officials are not able to rectify, which authority should be notified? So this was a question, and I would like to bring in Mr. Raghu Kumar to answer.
I would only say again, you have to approach only the CMWSSB. The open house is there. They can go there and then take it up at that forum.
Okay.
That would be the easier way to address it. And what we do, as I told you, the Twitter thing works brilliantly. Actually, maybe Vasanthi madam did not agree with it, but it works brilliantly for me.
Right.
And what I did was most of the times whenever I lodge a complaint with CMWSSB, I also tag it to the commissioner of GCC as well as, because it is on the road and it's their responsibility to keep the road clean. So the GCC then tries to escalate the complaint to CMWSSB as well.
Right.
So one point to note in this particular thing is stormwater drains are the ownership of the corporation. Sewage drains are the domain of the CMWSSB or Metro Water. People have to really identify what exactly is the drain that they're complaining about and go to the respective agency. You cannot really complain about the stormwater drain with Metro Water or the Metro Water drain with Storm Corporation. So that is something that to be very careful about.
Right. So we had some in-house questions within Citizen Matters as well. And one of the questions asked was that how can people approach their local ward councillors? Because local ward councillors are the first representatives of in a ward level, of people in a ward level. So is there any way to approach ward councillors to get civic issues resolved? I would bring in Mr. Sridhar for
Okay.
asking the question.
So I would like to bring in Charu Govindan. Charu, why don't you address this question?
Hey, if you think of councillors, you can only think of Charu Sridhar.
No, you have much more local persons who can take care of the problem going forward.
Yeah. Actually, while we were discussing, I was just thinking about this. All of us are talking about, the Matters Chennai app, 1913 and internet. I was just thinking about the people. We are the citizens who have access to all these things. But we are a very small percentage of people in city who have access. How about the major population which doesn't have access to these means to complain about these issues? Because contamination in the drinking water or, sewage leaking or solid waste management, all these problems we discussed, these citizens also face. So how do they resolve these issues? If you ask that question, then will they be reaching to AE, A Square, EE, Chief Engineer? Who they'll be reaching out to? I'm putting the question to the forum. They should be reaching out to their councillor, right? And I'm actually living in another ward, but one of the councillor added to her WhatsApp group. I see a lot of people have a smartphone now. At least, any problem, if they want a tree pruning or if the water is not coming, they are, madam, water is not coming. Madam, my tree need to be pruned. So they are approaching via WhatsApp or they're coming to the ward office. So these councillors are the direct, and these councillors take this request to what we are doing. Like directly we are approaching the corporation department, right? They are becoming the grate between the people and the corporation department to resolve issues. So that is how you have to reach out to your councillor. They have published their phone numbers. They are available in their ward offices, and ward offices are pretty close to our own homes, right? Instead of going to the ribbon building, you can go to walk onto the ward offices. So a lot of people I know who live from the low income family group or who don't or were not very, comfortable or savvy with the apps, they reach out to their councillors by calling or visiting the ward office, or now WhatsApp seems to be the answer for everything. So they are part of the WhatsApp groups with the councillors, and some of the councillors have added the Metro Water official, AE, electric department official, everybody in the WhatsApp group. So I have seen in one of the wards WhatsApp group, the questions from different citizens come from different things, and she is right there. She is, doing allocation of the questions to the respective officials and the officials handling it. So I think that's where the councillors pitches in for the majority of the population which doesn't have the access.
Right.
Can I add to it?
Sure.
Yes.
Actually, the shadow councillors, like civic engagement groups like ours, can serve the purpose now. That's what we have been doing all the time. We do not go to the councillor because she's not accessible. She's not available most of the time. We are not even sure where they are sitting these days.
Have you called your councillor, sir?
I've been meeting her. She's running these because she knows the number of complaints that we have been lodging. She tries to avoid us these days. Whenever we try to approach her, she's not available.
Okay. I
So
think
Charu, can you suggest the escalation mechanism for the councillor?
Go to the mayor.
that is why, I mean, she herself is a ward councillor, right? And she is busy in Erode right now. So, so I think that is why we need the area sabhas here, where we can meet our councillors regularly. Once, it's not like, they cannot run away from us. Every 3 months they need to come and they need to address us, even though we are not, even though the active citizens from each ward are not nominated as a ward committee members, each and every one of the voter is a respective member in the respective area sabha. So I think from respective wards, we need to put a pressure on our councillors to start area sabhas. And even though we have access to these officials, we need to make the people representatives also work for us, because, by that, we can address a lot of issues more effectively for the more percentage of the people, instead of like, few of us. And also we can get the budget and our tax money work for us through these platforms. And I think corporation is going to come up with a budget, and they've already allotted tenders for fixing the streets. So we know which streets to be fixed. So all these things can be, and we can do participatory budgeting. So much of things can be done in these platforms, but somehow we are not getting these platforms. And I think we need to raise even more stronger collective voice for these platforms. It's been almost 1.5 years since the government has, come, and the mayor and the councillors are almost, for a year now in the office, right? Last February, they finished the election. So it's already 1 year completed. So I think all of us need to raise and put pressure on the government to conduct these platforms more consistently. And that is the only way we can get the accountability from these people.
Thank you, Charu. Thank you for raising this very important, also bringing up area sabhas. So people's movements come into a lot of spaces to bring civic change. So another in-house question which I want to highlight was how to rally support for civic issues. Like Mr. Sridhar said that he managed traffic near the Sai Baba temple in Mylapore. So if that were a community movement, so how would that take place? How can we rally our community members to bring about people's movements?
Okay,
I would like to bring in Sridhar to answer the question.
Okay, I think I faced the situation for the last 7-8 years or so. I will provide some generic solutions. But I'll also mention that hardly 2 to 3% of the population in Chennai is even bothered about fixing local issues. Most of the people are selfish. Most of the RWAs are selfish about their own resident welfare association. They don't really care about the particular area. If they really want to expand their control over the whole area, they might actually get involved. Otherwise, there's a lot of selfishness about it. So it is important, whatever Charu mentioned about it, area sabhas. So Padmaja, you have the set of links for all the area sabhas. Each particular ward, even within the ward, there are 10 people in that particular ward. I guess every area resident has to really call that particular area sabha representative to really connect to within that particular area. That is one thing. The second thing is identify the social activists in your area. Identify the local paper in your area. Start writing to the local paper. Letters to the editor. There are papers like Mylapore Times, Adaya Times. Write to that particular thing. Also ask for solutions. How do you really approach connecting to social activists in that area? At least I have connected to the social activists in my area for the last 7-8 years. So anytime I'm not able to solve the problem, I really hand off that problem to that particular person. He has some particular connections within the corporation, within Metro Water, within any other thing. So it is important for us to really get connected within our area. I started a Mylapore Resident Welfare Association back in 2015, but one person got selfish and actually did a coup and actually almost removed me from that particular group. Though I was the founder of that particular thing. So it is important to really work locally in terms of what exactly is the problem that you can attack. Find support within your ward, within the subsection in your ward using the area sabha and all that stuff. It takes time to find a committed group, takes time to find a committed set of people within your area to really work towards the issues in your area. There is also something that some like Raghu Kumar actually maintains a local civic group or something. Different people can be maintaining group. They may be maintaining a list of contacts. I usually I maintained a list of contacts when the 2015 floods happened, to contact an AE for a particular for the whole of Mylapore constituency and all that stuff. So there may be people maintaining it in silos. It is important to really get connected through WhatsApp groups, through local papers, through area sabhas and all that stuff. That is how you really rally support for the issues.
Right. So in the process of finding committed individuals to support civic causes, one can also turn to social media, as both of you have said about using social media to resolve civic issues. So I want to bring in, this was another question asked by our in-house members, and I would like Mr. Raghu Kumar to step in, and this is our final question for the clinic. So, Mr. Raghu Kumar, we would like you to have how one can use social media tools to get civic issues answered.
Social media tools, like I told you, like WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. Yeah. We can try and bring together all these people who are interested in civic engagement, under one umbrella, and we can share all the contact details and also the Twitter handles as well as WhatsApp and other IDs. And people can start flooding all these people with all kind of petitions all the time. They have been doing it and it's working very well. I've also shared some of the landmark achievements that we have been able to do. We were able to get the railways to complete the construction of a complete wall between Vyasarpadi and Perambur. It took us about 3 years' time, but constant and relentless follow-up through the Twitter as well as through social media and digital media, print media. The work has been done now. And there are many other things that we were able to achieve. So I would only suggest that we try to use all the options that are available to try and bring the civic engagement into a next level.
Right, Mr. Raghu Kumar. We just have one question from Mr. Joel. He had raised his hand previously. Mr. Joel, if you could unmute yourself and answer, ask your question to the panelists. So I'm just reading it out. I would place more complaints on Matters Chennai app. The people who have addressed the issue would call up and request not to place complaints on it, rather call them directly to get things fixed.
This happens most of the time.
Right. So is that all, Joel? Right. So
Yes,
as we have reached, okay. So as we have reached the end of the session, I would like to thank the panelists for making time on a busy weekday for making this event into a success. I also extend my gratitude to all the participants who have attended the clinic and hope you could translate this guidance into action for civic recourse. We will be publishing a summary of the clinic soon, and it will be shared on our social media platforms as well as on our website. Thank you again and have a good night.